Look what I found at the supermarket. Turbo Yeast. Yeah, let's try to brew a beer with it. I'm Dr. Hans, this is Dr. Hans Brewery, my channel about beer and homebrewing. I do these crazy experiments so you don't have to, so please help out by smashing that like button, hitting the bell and subscribe to my channel of course. And as usual, if you just hit the troll, don't forget to hit the dislike button twice on your way out for double the impact. Turbo Yeast, 6 kilos of sugar in a 25-liter batch. Okay, but you can even add like for 7 kilos of sugar. Of course, I won't add sugar. We try to make a beer with it. I already brewed the beer, so I can pour it, we can try it, and we can run through the recipe. This weighs like a ton. You need to know how much it weighs. It comes in at 139 grams, including the package. And this contains yeast nutrient, minerals, vitamins, enzymes, and traces. Okay. Traces. I'm trying to translate here from Swedish. Something. It contains something. It weighs a lot. The recipe for this beer is already up in the big Dr. Hans recipe book for my patrons to dig into. It's called Turbo Beer and it's both in PDF and beer XML form as usual. But I will run through the recipe here in this video also if anyone else wants to try it. Spoiler alert, I did dry hop it because I thought this is going to be terrible, right? So maybe we can make it palatable with dry hopping. So I did dry hop it, but we're going to run through the recipe as soon as I get the beer into a glass and it's cold crashing right outside. Okay, so it's a beautiful looking beer, not as dark as you see it as usual. Put some light through it. Yeah, there you have. It's more like that color you see now. So it's a beautiful looking beer, nice little white tight cap there. It is hazy, of course. It is super young and it's dry hopped. It's a week old. It smells kind of nice. I did dry hop it with Citra. I do pick up the Citra. No like off flavors. If you like Citra. There's something more. I'm picking up like a slight phenolic, which could be an off flavor, of course. Those you can get with like some Belgian yeast and yeast like that. Cheers. It's not a big beer at all. We're going to run through all of the numbers. I think this turned out like 4.2%. It's actually not that bad. It's not bad at all, sorry, but it had though like phenol taste to it, so it would be like a Belgian sessionable IPA. If it was called like the Belgian IPA, I wouldn't think there was something wrong with it. It's not bad, and I'm a bit surprised by it. Let me run through the recipe and how I made it, and I will try to put some epic brewing footage as B-roll. Don't pick at my pin code. This was a 20-liter batch, so this is a scale down. It was a split batch. We're gonna come to the other beer in another video. They did though ferment down. The other one was with beer yeast. They did ferment down the same to 10-11. I was thinking that this might go like crazy low with the turbo yeast, but it didn't. I used about 84% Pilsner malt and 8% wheat malt, 5.5% Cara Hell, and 2.5% acidulated malt, mashed at 65 Celsius, and then I did a mash out at 76C. I sparged it up to the full boil volume, as I always do, but as you see in my brewing system, yeah, it was up to 65 liters, but this is a scaled down recipe for this beer. I boiled it for 60 minutes. I added some yeast nutrient and Protafloc, and at flame out, but this recipe says 20-minute boil, but at flame out I added Mandarina Bavaria, 72.2 grams to give us an IBU of 42.5. The hops were added at flame out, but in the recipe it says 20 minutes, but this was a no-chill beer. I will link down below to my no-chill video where I explain it, but I basically add 20 minutes of calculated boiling time for no-chill hops when the hops are going in at flame out. So that was cooled down to the next morning, filled up the fermenter at 25 Celsius, added the whole package of turbo yeast. It felt kind of strange. I gave it a blast of oxygen to help out the yeasties, and then I put the vessels in here. It was just fermented in room temperature because both my fridge and my heat only fermentation system were occupied. I did ferment this under pressure, but extremely low pressure, about 10 psi maybe. So I actually put some gas on this when I had the vessel outside instead of pressurize it too much in here. Fermentation. When I came down to the brew shed next morning, it was going crazy, but I didn't have any camera down here, so I went to work and thought when I come home I'm gonna make some epic brewing footage of the Krausen. But guess what? It had already fermented out. So this fermented out in like under 24 hours. It had started shifting and all that. And I usually try to dry hop when there's some activity left, when the Krausen is falling. So I just opened it up, chugged in 100 grams of Citra Cryo hops. To my knowledge, that would be equivalent to 200 grams of normal pellets. I just let it sit for, I think, 2 days, and then I put it outside to cold crash it. And we do have quite cold weather now here, so works fine for cold crashing. And here we have the final product. Would I do it again? Would I brew with turbo yeast? Do I recommend turbo yeast? For this beer, no. But if you were after a slight phenolic taste, it's super clean with a slight phenolic taste, why not? Was super fast. But for me, this would have been much better with a normal, yeah, but you know what I mean, SO5 basic ale yeast. Do you guys want me to age this for a bit to see how it develops? If you do, smash that like button so I know that you are interested in a follow-up. If you like what I do here and want to help out supporting the channel, I do have Patreon channel members, or just buy me a beer. All links down below. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Dr. Hans out. But I basically add 20 minutes of boiled